As you can tell, this is not a Jaguar XKR video. The Jaguar is 99% done. We are just about finished with it. We've got a few tiny little bits to finish off, but the boys right now are away in Poland. They're over at Noval doing some training, Perga being a golden partner. So they're flown off for 3 days over in Poland doing some training with Noval. But the car is sat in the booth right now. As I say, virtually ready to go. A little bit of polishing to do, but we're really keen to have Darren come down and have him on camera. We've talked about him, joked a little bit about him, and he's keen to come down and do the handover as well. And he's away on holiday as well. He's in Belgium at the minute. So the car will be with you next weekend. In the meantime, people have asked about Transit. It's still here. It is still ongoing. This video is going to cut about a little bit because we actually started recording part 5, I had a look, back in February. So what I'm going to do is we're going to flip back now and play all of the stuff we recorded earlier this year, and then we'll come back to what's happening with it now. Additionally to what you're about to see, until I cut back to now at the end of this bit, it's now got an outer sill on it. So that's all in place. I'll cover a little bit of that, maybe with some GoPro footage, because I did manage to get that done. I'm here on my own doing camera duties. So we'll go now to the early stuff from February of this year. I apologise, it's not with the DJI cameras, microphones or the new camera software. The footage is okay. It's not quite as crisp, if I can speak, as this is. But we'll play that now, and then after that we'll cut back. We'll get a quarter panel on it. Welcome along to part 5 now on the Transit. Apologies, we're not bad sound, we're just full of cold and flu at the minute. Hopefully by the end of the video that would have passed. The Transit is not sat here forgotten about. We have been cracking on and doing some. We'll overlay the footage that this side is all done now. So the inner arch, done all the modifications as we did on the passenger side in the last video. We've now replicated that on the driver's side. So we're moving on now to the inner wheel wells and outer quarter panels and just finishing off the panel work across the back. That's what this video will be about. Repro panels. I don't want to bore everyone and keep going on about this, but they are a pain. We've got loads of repro panels for this that the customer's supplied. The passenger side inner wheel well, it just fits. It's actually a pretty good panel, it just fits well. This side, we've offered it up, and it doesn't fit. It does, but it doesn't. If you come around this side, Luke, you'll be able to see where the inner wheel well, the outer inner wheel well, meets up the inner back panel here. We should be butted up to this joint along here, but we're not. It's not even close, and it's the same here. It's all out of place and shouldn't be there. Now what it is, and again I'll do a bit of B-roll and we'll overlay this and come back to it, but for some reason these wheel arch panels have come from the same manufacturer. The passenger side, they've actually pressed it how it's meant to be. This side, they've just pressed one continuous flange all the way around the outside. Now, what you'll see in the overlay footage is the correct way is this flange is correct. It should come, I don't know where you are, though. It should come all the way down here, stop here, and this flange should be 180 degrees the other way. It should turn in on itself and then get spot welded all the way down the back of this panel. And it's the same at the front. It should come down to this point here, 180 degree reverse, and get spotted all the way down there. It's nice and simple, you know, it's not a complicated fix or anything like that, but why? Why not make it right? They've made that side right, this side they've been a little bit lazy in the pressing. So we'll get that flipped round, we'll get these all primed up, and we'll get the wheel wells spotted into place, and then we can look at tidying up these flanges down here, each side, and get these quarter panels in, half quarter panels, work out the maths on that. And we'll finish off on here and get the back barrels back on. Starting to take shape. We're moving forward, heading towards paint. We do have a few more bits and pieces to do on the inner sill passenger side, and a few little bits and pieces to do up around the front. But she's not forgotten about. It is moving forward. Once all the structural work is done, we're actually going to get it blasted again. It was blasted a good few years ago now, and we've got quite a bit of surface corrosion coming through underneath, so we'll just get it blasted straight back from blasting into epoxy and Cobra underbody. So still a way to go, but we'll push forward and get some progress done on this video. Right, trying to play catch up now in my head as to where we're at. All the internal cavities now, we're coated with Nova for Classic Car epoxy. The original beige stuff, which is a real heavy build, wears really nice. So all these cavities that we're about to close up is coated in dust and Nova for Classic Car epoxy. So it's the same on this side. We're all buttoned up now, and we can start putting some outer metalwork on. So throughout the next little section now, we're going to focus on just slipping an outer rear quarter panel in. So getting everything lined up, slicing through here, stitching that in, and then even from the back we'll get this all plug welded, spot welded depending on access, and then dress the lip, spot weld the lip. Can't tell you how nice this is after a long period of time now of an exposed transit. So yep, we'll get this buttoned up, closed up, move on to some of the other fiddly bits. There we go, one outer quarter panel, lower quarter panel now in. We've still got a little bit of finishing off to do. I've got to run the spot weld around the lip. We can clean back these welds here. Now we'll put another couple of tacks down the bottom here, because with it all assembled, we can't get in the back there to weld that. So a series of nice big tacks in there, we grind them back, cut the line back in there, and a bead of sealer when it comes to paint, and the same back here. Up here, and on this side, we can get in the back, so they're all plug welded. But there we go, one quarter panel, side panel all the way down through here now, which is quite nice and picks you up a bit when you get one side going. So now we've moved round to the back where we've put the inner valance in, we've put the floors in, and if you remember back to some earlier videos, we salvaged the outer panel because it was pretty damn good, just needed a repair section in here. The inside edge, or face rather, is as always coated with epoxy primer. That's Nova for Classic Car hybrid epoxy in there. So that then we can just get all this going back into position, dress it all up, pull this back into line, get the outer valance back on it, and then we'll move on to that side. So we're making progress. So there we go, back valance now on, tailgate on, and it's all fitting and lining up pretty nice. It's all gapped up well. We've obviously got the welds to clean back, but what we'll probably do with much of this now is get everything in position, get everything stitched in, and then spend a long, noisy, dirty day grinding everything back. So if we come around here now, before we can get this section of the quarter on, we need to take care of the sill, which is all corroded down in this bottom corner. So we've had it off the ramp, cut the rusty outer sill off, revealing plenty to be dealt with along here, which can all be dealt with inside the from the inside underneath the car. If I just swirl around here, you can see we've got a repair section there to put onto that flange, and then another one down here to go in there. Once that's cut out and repaired, we can then make an inner sill up to take care of all of this corrosion along here, and then simply pop on the outer sill. Once that's done, we can come back round, on the head, and get that outer quarter panel on. So it's all heading in the right direction now. It's taking longer than we thought because, as always, you find a lot more as you go. But we are pushing forward with her. Okay, so the old footage would have got you up to the point where we were just about to start the inner sill repair on this side, which has all been done. We've got a little bit of cleaning up to do. A couple of the swap welds burned through, so we've still got those just to tack up along the bottom here, as you can see in this overlay footage. So that's all now done and solid, so we can move on now to this quarter panel. This is really weird. I don't know how solo YouTubers do it. I feel really uncomfortable talking to the camera. Normally I've got Luke here and I'm talking to Luke. I'm telling Luke what we're doing and he's recording it. This feels really quite bizarre. I'll soldier on. They're back next week. So anyway, yeah, we've got this quarter panel repair. What you'll see, and I'll try and overlay some footage here, is all along the sliding door mount here is also corroded quite badly. And as you can also see here, the quarter panel repair panel that we have doesn't even go a quarter of the way up into the sliding door mount repair section. So first job to do is onto the bench, and we're going to have to extend it. So I'll get this all trimmed up so that we can stitch this to the repair panel, and then we can offer it all up, size it all up, cut it all in, and re-drill all the necessary holes. So that's the next step. I'll crack on with that, and we'll probably let the GoPro take over that, because I don't talk to the GoPro. A little bit more comfortable. So anyway, I'll shut up and get working. Okay then, there we go. One extension piece made, so that's all good to go. A perk of being here on your own, you get to eat all the biscuits that lovely customers drop by. So thank you for that, Gary. Owner of the 57 Cadillac just popped by. I'll make sure those are gone before the boys get back. So anyway, back on. Extension piece welded on here. It's welded on all the way through. I've not finished tidying it back yet, because I might need to do a little bit of dressing once it's on here. But next job is to grab self-drilling screw and the driver. So now what we've got to do is offer this up, and then we've got all these mounting holes along here for the side runner. So if I get this laid over the top and in place where we know that the panel fits, I can then go around the back and mark up those holes and get those cut in. So I'll find my original holes in there. There we go. There we go. Right, we know that that's now lined up where it needs to be. So I can go around the back of the panel now, mark up the holes along here, get those cut in, and I can already see here, yeah, I'll have to get the big long rule out. I'll just scribe along here because with just a little bit over here, it started to go up into the return swage. So I want to keep this just below that swage. That'll help keep all the shape together when we're stitching it in. So we'll trim that back, get the holes drilled into here, get all the flanges cut up, and I'll overlay a bit of footage here actually, before I forget. We're missing out here, there's too much inner arch. So I need to get that scribed up, profile that, get the wheel off the way, profile it back so that tucks in. We're not a million miles away already from having a rear quarter panel on this, which will be nice. As I say, I can dress up these welds a little bit more. Once it's all in the car, I can do some hammer and dolly without it bouncing around on the bench. It's all going well. Who needs Bo and Luke? I don't when it comes to biscuit eating. Of course, as ever, it isn't just a case of bolting on the big panel or welding on the big panel. There's always remedial repairs to do, like this down in the bottom here. All this bottom section here was corroded away, so we've got to make up the bottom of this post here because the rear quarter panel laps over this. So we've got to continue this down from here and across. So we'll make up that little section now, and then we're not far away from being able to get that cut out and stitched in. Right, here we go. This bottom corner's repaired, so that's all done. A lot of trial and error fitting this because, as I've harped on about before, reproduction panels. The contour of this arch, or possibly this arch, because they're both repro panels, is just wrong. So there's been a whole lot of cutting and tweaking, modifying and pulling, and it's now at the point where we can start getting it stitched in, because this now tucks into position there quite nice, all the way up into there, and it pulls into the wheel arch as well, all the way down here. So everything's lining up now where it needs to be, so I can set about getting the panels screwed in. What really helps this is, as this is the sliding door side, we've got the door runner here, which as you can see is a nice thick, heavy gauge bit of channel. So I can get that all bolted up, and that ensures that that panel is going to stay nice and straight through there while we weld that in. It also means, as you can see here, because it comes right up to the top of that swage, I can't access the weld line from this side. But I've got loads of access from the inside, which means I can get all this plug welded in on the outside here. You can see we've got all the holes drilled up here, ready to get that plugged into position. So we can get it lined up, plugged into position on the outside here, and then go inside, clean up along this top line here, and then whilst leaving the door guide channel in place on the outside, we can stitch straight across the top, which will give us a nice straight hidden weld. So yeah, it's been a bit of a battle to get to this point, but from now on in, hopefully some plain sailing work. That went in really pretty well in the end. It's nice and tidy through here. I've still got a little bit of cleaning back to do, but if you've followed the many parts of this Transit, I'm leaving most of the cleaning back until the end, when I spend 3 days with ear defenders on and grinding it all back. But it's cleaned up really nice. It's gone in really nicely. Minimal distortion through the panel, to the point I'd say there's no distortion through the panel. The side rail runner still fits on there absolutely fine. You don't have to force it on or force it off. It fits on there really nice. So a really productive couple of days on this now. Inner and outer sill, rear quarter panel done. I do still have to run the spot welder around the arch lip here and across the bottom here. Apart from that, this panel is in and done. So it's kind of like the bulk of the big stuff now done. Quarter panels the other side, inner and outer sill, floor pan, wheel wells have all been done. You may or may not recall, this did come to us as a already started project. So there's been a lot of work done up the front. There's still quite a lot of work to do up at the front. The driver's side wing is just bolted in place. That needs welding in place. Passenger side wing is off. The windscreen scuttle's a bit of a mess. There's corrosion in there, which extends up into the top of the windscreen pillar and into the roof. At the back, the top of the pillars where it meets the roof is gone, so there's repair work to do there. So we've got all this nice big stuff. All the big changes are kind of just about there. It's all the little bits now which are going to add up, and I don't want to say slow it down because we're keen to really push on with this Transit now, but all the little bits are the bits that will eat hours. It's always the way with the project. The big stuff looks impressive and it happens in big chunks. The little bits, that's where you lose days. So I'm really glad to have the opportunity to have pushed this forward and brought it to you guys so you can see what we're doing. We're going to keep on going. We want to see this in paint pretty soon. So we've got tidying up and finishing up underneath to do. It's then going to go away and get blasted again, because it was blasted, I think, at least 5 years ago, and it was just sat. So it is all starting to oxidise underneath. So we've said to the owner, look, let's get it blasted again. As soon as it comes back from blasting, we get it straight in the booth, get it into an epoxy, do all the seam sealing, and then we'll Cobra, underbody, protect, and then we can start all the shaping and gapping. So we're going to push on now, get all the other little bits and pieces sorted out, all the big little bits and pieces sorted out, and push forward and hopefully get this going towards bodywork soon. And then the boys are back on Monday. We will spend Monday finishing off the XKR, and then Darren's in on Friday. He's getting back from his holiday, coming straight here, and we'll wrap that video up for you guys to see next week. So thanks for watching, thanks for sticking with us, and subscribe, like, and we'll catch up with you next week.